Hey there, and welcome to another episode of the John Graves Show. I'm going to try and make this one a quick video. Did you ever have that conversation with somebody who actually played Final Fantasy 6 or, most of the other Final Fantasy games? Namely 6, as I kind of have to say. And Final Fantasy 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, some parts of 11. I didn't play 12. Well, I played a little bit of 12, and I played 13. And I played a demo of 13 too, and a demo of Final Fantasy Lightning Return. And I did play most of the earlier Final Fantasy games. Did you ever have this conversation with somebody? Final Fantasy 6 is by far the best Final Fantasy game, and people who like Final Fantasy 7 are because that game is fucking terrible. Do you honestly know what you're kind of getting into? And I'm like, seriously, man. I like Final Fantasy 6. I like Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and so on. But here's my dilemma that I keep running into whenever I see this comment on Facebook, whenever I see this comment on anywhere, whenever I kind of like see how people react whenever the whole Final Fantasy 7 thing comes up. I really gotta say, calm down. Seriously, for Final Fantasy 6, I really got to break this game down because I'm like, seriously, I know a lot of people, they do kind of give like most of the male characters from Final Fantasy 7 and 6, namely Squall and Cloud, they do kind of give them, which I do got to say this, Cloud's personality for most of the movies, I don't know why he acts like that. I mean, seriously, at the end of of 7, he's acting pretty normal. Don't know why he's so brooding again. Whatever. But side note aside, Terra, as the game starts, she is pretty reserved. She is pretty introverted. She kind of doesn't talk, man, to a lot of people, and really she kind of doesn't want to. It's mostly, I forget old boy's name, but seriously, that's mostly him kind of talking throughout, man, the beginning of the game, and you do kind of see him conversing more with a lot more people than what Terra does. I mean, that's kind of a normal thing, and seriously, I see Cloud and Squall kind of getting, man, like the fucking like getting all this hate thrown at them for being characters who kind of are way more introverted and do honestly kind of have reason to act like that. Even fucking Vincent, and I'm like, oh, okay, so when Terra does it, it's okay. When these fuckers do it, it's a bad thing? Oh, okay, that's something against it. All right. And then the other thing is that, yeah, man, Kefka is one of possibly the greatest villains ever. Do you realize that Kefka is just a Joker in this fucking game with no real motive? No real reason to try and do anything. He just wants to set the world on fire. And I'm like, I can respect that. You know what I mean? Just kind of calling it out here. He is the Joker. He is a clown man who he is a man who wears clown makeup, laughs, and kills people without warning, and just wants to set everything ablaze. He is the fucking Joker. I mean, seriously, I like Final Fantasy 6 just like the rest of everybody. I mean, hell, I like Dragon Quest 8 way more than I like most of the other Dragon Quest games. But I'm like, seriously, I'm not going, man, to like go on and say like, yeah, man, Dragon Quest 3, and 7 are way better because they fucking sold more. I'm like, I'm not going to say that shit. That sounds petty. And I'm like, look, if you like Final Fantasy 6 and pretty much everybody around you, they like Final Fantasy 6 more because it was the very first Final Fantasy game in 3D and was on the PlayStation 1, and most people played that one first, and they didn't play Final Fantasy 3 for fucking Super Nintendo. Grow up, man. It's 2014. Stop acting like a fucking kid, all right? Just grow up and just realize that, hey, some people, they kind of like other things over you. I mean, really, I can kind of break, man, the fucking entire Final Fantasy 6 story down right now and basically say like, yeah, seriously, it isn't something all that great. pretty much, because Final Fantasy 4, if I could fucking compare, if I could compare stories, Final Fantasy 4 is better than 6. And I'm like, really? I'm not that fucking petty, because seriously, they all kind of have their place, and they all have their stories. So seriously, for the Final Fantasy 6 and the Final Fantasy 7s and the Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6 and whatever, all those are great. You know, the name is pretty. The name itself is pretty average, but seriously, as far as the game goes, and I'm only making this video because I'm honestly because I did kind of notice like a few people kind of still honestly talking and raving about the whole FF7 and 6 thing, and it seriously did kind of force me to make this video and say, seriously, man, you are in your 20s. That game came out like so fucking long ago. It was back on Super Nintendo. Grow up. Alright? For everybody, if somebody fucking tells you that you were wrong for liking something, just tell that person to shut the fuck up and tell them, man, to move on with their day. Especially if they're over the age of fucking 20 and they kind of don't necessarily realize that. And this goes for anything. This goes for if you like anime, if you like a certain type of music, if you like anything, and somebody tells you that you were wrong for liking it, seriously, that's kind of a bad thing, really. I mean, you can debate them, but seriously, it's an annoying thing to talk about. However, if it's really bad music, or you know, it's even worse when they kind of like tell you that when it's something that really isn't all that bad. Like Final Fantasy 7 isn't a bad game. Final Fantasy 6 isn't a bad game. But yet they feel the need to harp on 7 because it's more popular. I don't get it. Tell me what you guys think it is down there in the comment section. All right, do you feel that people do have the right, man, to say something bad about Final Fantasy 6 and 7? Please let me know. Or do you feel that their arguments would be justified a little bit more if Final Fantasy 7 was an actual bad game, just like how people kind of harp on Resident Evil 4 for not being a true Resident Evil game, even though it's not a bad game? Please let me know down there in the comment section. I will see you guys on the next John Graves show, and I'm out.